Okay, everybody, what's going on? This episode is going to be live, but we are going to be doing an interview. So some of this will be cut out for the interview purposes. And yeah, we're doing it live. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Time of the Six. Here we go. What's going on, big guy?
What's going on, brother?
Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, no problem, AZ. So we were gonna do it pre-record it, but things happen, so we're doing it live, and we're gonna jump right into it. Where were you born and raised, AZ?
I was born in Arizona. Then my mom and we moved to California when I was about 3 or 4. She got married, had my little brother. We lived there for about 10 years. She ended up getting divorced within 5 years or so. Then she married my other little brother's dad. And then he was in the military, so we moved around from California to Nebraska, then Texas, and then I went back to Arizona in 2000, and I was there ever since.
Okay, that's why you go by AZ. So you're basically born and raised in AZ in Arizona. Yeah. I'm from Canada, so I just know the different states. I'm not too familiar with the cities and that.
Right.
So I just go by what state the person's in.
Yeah.
So what led you to be into the mix? Like, how did you start getting into trouble, or what was your first time getting in trouble?
I mean, I was always intrigued by that type of life. I was pretty sheltered, so.
Did it start young?
No. I mean, I was getting into trouble young, I burned down 4 acres of military base. We used to do stuff like get in camouflage, and we would, hide in the little rivers around, around the golf courses. And when some of the, sometimes be captains, lieutenants, different people, when they would, go up to swing, we would run up to their golf carts, steal their clubs, and then my buddy, his older sister, she would turn them in for us. So I mean, it started with little stuff like that, back then we learned, on a military base, we had like access to like books that would teach you how to make all kinds of stuff, so my trouble was a little bit different. We were making little bombs and stuff like that, and messing around with pipe bombs and little things like that. Okay. I don't mess with that type of stuff now. It's been since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like actually a kid.
Yeah.
Move to a city is different. There was a point in time we were on Fort Hood, which was the biggest military base in the world after the Soviet Union crash. You know what I mean? So it was like 1 million+ acres. You know what I mean? And then you just have little housing departments, Comanche A, B, C, etc. There's not a lot of people compared to the empty space, and it's just woods, forests. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So what led you to get into the prison then?
That didn't happen until later on in my life. I started getting arrested around 26, 27, but I was selling drugs and selling dope and stuff way before that. I didn't start really doing that type of stuff until I was about 18.
Okay.
Started out small, weed, you know what I mean? That's what initially got me hooked into it, because it was fast money. Back then, weed actually made money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I know exactly what you mean, man. In high school, yeah. Bro, it was friggin' dime bag, grab a half pound, dime it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Reggie days. People don't remember Reggie, but that's. Yeah. And then we're right by the border, so I would get pounds for $200. You know what I mean? The Mexican brickweed and shit. So like you said, you dime bag it out, dub it out, and that should be gone.
Well, I know the politics on the West Coast are way different than Toronto. That's for sure. So yeah. I just want to speak a little bit to I know you're a Wood, right?
Correct.
So I know that much. I just wanted to speak on you to speak on a little bit about like how that works, so the Toronto people can get an idea on the differences in the prison systems.
Yeah. Um, on the West Coast, Arizona and California especially, um, we're racially segregated. You,
Right.
woods with the woods, the Rasa with the Rasa, which is the Hispanics, and uh, woods obviously the white boys. And then you got your chiefs. There's uh two different tribes they go by. Uh, and then you have the blacks. Everybody's separated. Uh, we all do business with each other, and do stuff like that. We make money together. We do all that type of stuff. Um, but we're not allowed to eat at the same table as another, and that's with every race. If a chief was to walk in between uh, the Rasa's tables while we're having chow, it's open game. Their people are going to smash them out. See, so no, other races aren't smashing other races out. Everything is handled in house. If it's like a political issue, then and not a personal issue, one on one with two different races can bang it out. Other than that, if it can turn into a political thing, their people will handle it, and they will handle it depending on the severity. It's just of the DP
That's
that you're about to
that's
get.
what that's the part that kind of like fascinates me, how they take care of it within their own, and so it doesn't necessarily pop off with the I guess race wars because everything's segregated, right? See,
Yeah,
with the free for all style that we're used to here, it's just crazy. It's just a free
well,
for all. There's no structure, you
that's
know.
dangerous. See,
Yeah, and
it,
the thing is, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say better to be handled by your own, but I mean, it's just different. It's a different way, man.
but
And
they don't go light on you.
no,
You know what I mean? The white boys and everybody else, they're not gonna just they're not gonna go light on you. They're not gonna be like, oh, we'll pamper them. Don't worry.
no,
Nah,
of course not.
they're gonna mess you up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you know, of course you're gonna have dudes that are racist. You know what I mean? But as a whole, it's not really like that. You know what I
See,
mean?
the guys that I think are more racist here are dudes that are like white dudes and they're scared to fight black dudes, bro. It's like, what's the matter with you? I don't even see these guys as whatever. I'm just seeing them as a man.
Yeah,
The
they're
guy
just a
wants to
man.
fight me, I'm
It's
gonna
just a
fight him. It
human.
don't matter what color you are. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. It's like, because the person's black, they get more shook. The guy's taking their food. You don't want to fight the dude. It's like, but you'll fight the guy if he's white, though. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. So we don't have that
You
type
know?
of an issue out here. You know what I mean?
So that's why it's a different way, man. It's the free for all
Yeah,
thing. It's just the way I was saying, it's out of control, man. Like, every single person on the pod has a shank, and it's just like, basically you could be like one of maybe four white people in the pod, right?
yeah,
And I could be sitting there, fight for my food, show who I am, fight for my food, everything like that, like fighting all these Crip gang members, whatever, whoever's running that pod to get my stuff, right?
yeah.
So finally you get all your stuff. Next thing you know, those guys leave and another gang comes and you're right back to doing the same shit again. It's like, because they don't know you now,
Right.
so they're
That's
looking at you like you're some white dude. It's like,
well, see, that's the thing, bro, is like, uh, when you go to prison in Arizona, if you're solid in your GP, you don't got to worry about that type of stuff. You don't got to worry about somebody coming up and extorting you. You know what I mean? Now,
for
don't
your
get it
government
twisted.
issue, for your
Yeah, don't get
government.
it twisted though. If you get in trouble with your people, uh, best believe if they think that they can extort you to get the money out of you that you might owe for dope, they're gonna do it. But if you're just coming in and you're just doing your thing, you're moving, you're convicting. Uh, that's why that stuff is created and around, was to prevent people from being extorted and raped and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's
And have
no
to fight
raping.
for
Like,
every meal, pretty much. Like,
yeah, you can't be a white boy and be a homosexual in Arizona on a GPR. They won't allow it. You got to go. You know what I mean? So they don't allow gay sex and shit. You know what I mean? You can't rate people.
Homophobic here. They're really homophobic here. I don't even hear about stuff like that. Like, to me, the States is the only place I ever hear about it. Like, I've never heard about that in our jails until I heard about the US talk about it. Like, the only time, like, and I've did about 8 years and I've been in like 8 different jails. The only time I ever seen it like even close to anything like that was when there was this one weirdo dude that was like gay and his best friend was a drug dealer, and they were like giving kids dope just to like, homo them up or whatever, to try to like be like, oh, you owe too much money, come in my cell for the night type deal. And well, you know what I mean? And they would buy the dead off of him because it's his best friend. That's as far as I seen that kind of weird shit go. And that's only the one time,
Right. Yeah. See, we don't. I watched my boy blast some dude out because, like, this was before I went to prison, when I was in the tents and the Arizona Maricopa County tents, that everybody hears about. I say out of my 16, 18 months, whatever it was, I did at least 9-10 months in the tents, 6 months straight. You know what I mean? When I wasn't in the hole, which was most of the time. But
yeah, the hole, fuck, man, the hole is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, because in county there, we don't have TVs and stuff at all. Even if you're not in the hole, there's no TVs. You have one TV in like the day room, but it's on the cooking channel or ESPN2, and that's it.
See, that's the same thing here. In the day room, there's one TV, usually, on something stupid, and no one really watches it except for whoever's sitting there, the people that sit at the TV all the time. You know what I mean?
Yep. See, we'd have to leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning for work. So usually you try and get up around 2 in the morning so that you can, take a shower, get ready for the day, do like a whole thing. This is in county, like in the tents. Mm-hmm. And you get ready, you do your thing, and me and my boy, we would hide in the bathroom stall, and we would smoke a little stick of spickety, which is like spice, and then like synthetic weed for people that don't know. Don't ever do it. That's just crazy. But if you smoke too much, but we would just roll like a little pinner, and then him and I would split just that little tiny pinner, and then we'd smoke a quick cigarette, and then we go sit on the in the day room, and we would sit back, and bro, we would just be zoned out watching soccer, like at 2:30 in the morning. Like, holy shit, this will just kick that shit way over the. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we would just be tripping out and shit, just watch fucking soccer every morning.
I got a question for you. Okay, there's a game that we played a lot here called Bidwiz. You guys play that down there?
What is it?
To some of the inmates, it's called Bidwiz.
What's that?
It's a card game.
Explain it. We might have a different name.
Okay, it's like it's kind of like euchre, like where you have a partner and you bid your hand. And you'll be like, I got 3 tricks, and your partner will say he's got 3 tricks, and you say, okay, I got it. So you guys go 6 together type thing, and then the other 2 people are on a team. So I guess I'm understanding. No, you're not recognizing.
No, I think we call that Georgia duck hunting.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I played the game, but I'm pretty sure that's the one you're talking about. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
Because I played some card games only when we were like locked down on the racks. Other than that, I was playing poker and shit like that.
Yeah, so poker's big in there.
Oh yeah, making big bucks.
Okay, so that's the main things here too. We got poker, and then Bidwiz, and then we have a dice one called Ludi. Like a Jamaican game with the dice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can get some pretty good gambling going on.
Oh yeah.
But, I don't suggest that to anybody. You know what I mean? If you're doing you have if you're gonna gamble, make sure you have your item that you're gambling, and if you just take it from there, man.
Have it up front.
Right.
The biggest no-nos you can do when you go in is gambling and doing drugs.
Right.
Those are the 2 biggest mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people get rolled off yards for stuff.
I've gambled my whole bid every time, and the thing is, I never had a problem. You just gotta do what I said, and like, if you're gonna gamble, you bring out of your cell what you're gonna gamble and bring it, and that's it. If you lose, you give you what you owe right then and there, and that's it. You know,
You guys have Kiki?
none of this book shit going on, books till payday. That's how these guys get killed. You know.
Yeah. Hey, hey, what if your family can't put it on for that day?
Yeah.
What if they're like, hey, I got to put it on in a couple days, and you're like, well, I can't order till next week, and then they're like, sorry, that's all we get. That's what we can do right now. Now you got to go back and explain to somebody. You better hope who you got it from is a nice person,
Right.
because I would get upset because I tell people, hey, I'm gonna front you the store, but if you're one day late, we're fighting.
Right.
I don't care because I'm fine with hands laid, debts paid. Because I would never loan out enough for me to want to kill you over it anyways. But what I do hand you,
But it's just the pure disrespect factor.
great.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Now, if somebody comes to me like, I've ran into people that just legitimately had bad shit happen. But they'll come. Like, if you have respect, you'll come to somebody prior. Don't wait the day of. Don't wait the day before. If you know 4 days before, go let them know. Hey, man, look,
So he's
I
not
know I said I'd be on time. Yeah, I'd let that shit go. I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, because to me, that's respect. That's like, you're looking out for me as well. You're not thinking just about yourself. You're like, well, let me let him know in case he's got prior obligations. He can go ahead and handle that right now. Because a lot of times people get upset because then you got some dudes that'll try and rob Peter and pay Paul. You know, they'll loan something out, and then they're expecting the other dude who owes them too to pay them so that they, you know what I mean? And it's like,
exactly. It gets
shit don't work.
The guy's like, yo, I want to be here. He's there to collect, but you're like, they're like, oh, hey, no, they got to go somewhere else to collect. That gets too complicated, and
Definitely.
But it's always better if you're gonna do things to just do it up front. That's usually what I say, unless it's
That's
like
what I recommend.
boy, you know what I mean? Or
the biggest thing is just stay out of trouble.
Exactly.
You ain't got to worry about nothing.
That's right. You stick to the YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, so I know you got out and straightened your life out after you got out of prison and started the YouTube thing. So what made you decide to start the YouTube channel?
Honestly, I had a lot of crazy stories, and I wanted to share them. So originally, I didn't know there was a prison genre. I was just telling like stories from my life, things that have happened, different crazy stories, and then I did a few of them, but I didn't know you can make money on YouTube. So when I found out, I was like, dang, like a lot of the stories I was putting up, I had to privatize them because I was like, I don't know if people really want to watch that. Like, do people really want to listen to me talk about how my best friend and I got into a argument and I tried to chop him up in a parking lot with a machete and a sword? You know what I mean? Turns out they do, but at the same time, people who want to sponsor you and stuff, they don't want to I don't want to sponsor something like that. You know what I'm saying? So then I just was trying to find my own way around. I'm still doing that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm still doing different types of content because I don't want to be boxed into one thing.
I was just about to say that too. I don't want to be stuck in this genre. You know what I mean?
Nah.
That's why I started the couple channel there. Endless in that, trying to like use that as like a output to try to put different stuff out.
Correct. And always just stay out of the drama and keep your circle super small. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best things. And be consistent.
To stay out of trouble, you have to change your ways. You can't get out.
I mean, on YouTube.
Okay.
Even on, like, if somebody's starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things, to stay out of the drama and keep the circle super small.
And stay consistent, right?
Yeah. Exactly. But same thing in real life too, like you were saying,
Yeah, exactly. The same thing in real life.
Yeah.
If you want to like clean your life up and stop doing that when you get out, you got to change something. You can't go back to the same old thing and expect to change.
I have one of the things that I'm going to start working on soon here is I'm going to start going to like anger management, you know what I mean? Because, and like seeing a counselor, because that's my biggest problem. It's not, I don't sell dope no more. I don't do dope. I don't hang around people that do dope. I just don't do that shit. So with that being said, my biggest problem is my anger, and you know, I'm quick to pop off. I'm like that in real life. People that have seen me, they know how I am. Uh,
Yeah.
even when I'm not drunk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, shit, even when I'm not drunk, I'm still a hypey person, and I'm like that in person.
Right.
You know what I
I
mean?
know,
Somebody
bro.
says
That's
something
why I don't
crazy
like
to
to
me.
go around. I don't go around people for that reason, bro, because it's just, you know what I mean? Why?
Yeah,
There's no need for it, right?
yeah. Somebody makes a smart comment to me in a grocery store
Exactly.
in the line. I'm
But
gonna
I
say
like it that
something.
way, bro. You know, so I hear you on that, and I find myself,
It's silly.
I go out. I don't even really like to go out grocery shopping and stuff because I like, oh God, what if one of these guys says something to me and I'm obligated? I gotta fight. You know what I mean? It's like you're stuck in this thing where you think like if someone challenges you, you have to do it. You know what I mean? Because you did that your whole life, and this is your name and all this shit, and it's just, you know how many times I got. Most of my charges were assault with a
Yep.
weapon, assault cause bodily harm, assault police. Not nice,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
So
What I went to prison for was aggravated assault. I caught that in jail while I was in jail.
I know, and it forces you sometimes. Sometimes you don't have a choice, and I don't know if this happens down there, but I heard up here like if an inmate kills another inmate, sometimes if like there's no cameras or whatever, sometimes they give them a lot less time sometimes because they don't know like what happened. Like this guy could have been trying to kill you. Like it's just such a weird thing when two inmates in a cell and one of them ends up dead and no one knows what happened. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Hey, I've seen guys get a life sentence because they're wrestling in their, we train and fight and stuff, you know what I mean? So I've heard of guys getting, manslaughter and life sentences because they're wrestling, and one of them slips and hit his head, and then that person dies. They don't know. They were so violent in Arizona prison systems. Like
right.
the chances really are they probably were just getting smashed out, But I've heard of it happen quite a bit where, you know,
Yeah, it happens, especially on the West Coast. They don't play around on the West Coast, bro. We
yeah,
got we gotta have you on for another one, man. What
yeah,
would
bro.
you say for the youth out there? Some wisdom or something for some of these, people doing crimes or whatever. Some wisdom for the game out there, man.
Hey, just know what you're signing up for. Everybody knows what they say they know what they're signing up for, but they don't really know. You know what I mean? I've said it plenty of times. The streets doesn't discriminate. They'll take you no matter what color, sex orientation, where you're from. It don't matter. They'll accept you. You can come from a billionaire family. They'll take you. Everybody, they're all gonna take you. You know what I mean? But there's way better stuff out there. Like for me, one of the biggest things I gotta work on is anger and self control. You know what I mean? That's something that I gotta do to better myself as a person.
That's some
You know
good
what I
goals.
mean? I stopped drinking recently again, so that way, so I'm taking steps. You
Like
have to
for
recognize
example,
the steps you got to take to fix yourself. That's the
like for
biggest thing.
example, when I first started interviewing people last year, I did Blood on the Razor Wire, Chad, right? And I was
Yeah, salute
fresh
Chad.
to it. I was new to it. I was just fresh into it. I'd only been doing it a month, bro. I had no
Yeah,
clue what I was doing, man. I had never done that before. And like I had kept cutting him off and cutting him off. I went back and watched it later on. I was like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. I keep cutting people off. I can't have a normal conversation. So when I looked at that back like months later, when I watched it back, I was like, damn, I set myself and I said, I gotta improve that. I gotta stop cutting people off.
yeah, definitely. Hey, see that stuff you got to recognize when we're doing stuff wrong, right? Like my drinking was starting to become a problem on YouTube and in real life. You know what I mean? So had to put a stop to that. You know what I mean? So it's just the biggest part is just recognizing where your faults are and trying to fix them.
Nice. That's great advice,
Once you
bro.
can do that, you can conquer anything. You know what I mean?
we're gonna put all your plugs and everything. Yeah, I know what you mean. We're gonna put all your plugs and all that in the description, all that. I know you have a few channels. Do you want to show the ones out that you working with right now?
Right now, I'm just promoting the one. Haven't decided what I'm gonna do with the other one yet.
Okay. So the
But
main
it'll
one you
be
want
something.
to
But
do is Az-Ruction, right?
yep, AZruction. Yeah, just like it's spelled in the Cash App right there.
Nice.
It's no space or anything. You know what I mean? So, hey, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
For sure. We'll have to do another one. For sure, man. I've
Yeah,
had all
definitely.
3 of you guys on now. You know what I mean? You guys are a good team. Appreciate
Definitely.
all 3 of you, man. You know,
Oh,
all
salute
3 of
to
you guys
all of you.
stand out as individuals. You know what I mean? All 3 of you got your own thing going on. And
Definitely.
I think the next one we're going to tackle is your buddy Breadwinner. And then that way it's like the
That's gonna
whole
be a good one.
of the whole YouTube street thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Bro. Okay, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for
Thank you,
coming on.
brothers.
Be
You
good,
guys
man.
have a good one.
And we'll see you chat in the next one.